Hi, Jackson here at Song Mentor, and when we think of the Troggs, we usually think of Wild Thing, or maybe their follow-up hit to that, With a Girl Like You. A little on the raunchy side, especially for its day. But one of the Troggs' biggest hits was in 1967. It was called Love Is All Around, a love anthem. It was written by Reg Ball, who changed his name. By the time he was in the Troggs, had changed his name to Reg Presley. I'm sure you can imagine why he made that name change. Love Is All Around has been re-recorded a few times by REM and also by Wet Wet. And that latter version was featured in the film Four Weddings and a Funeral. Both the original version and the Wet Wet version spent 15 weeks on the charts. So here's the Troggs, Love Is All Around. I tell you, Love Is All Around is just such a wonderful song to sing and play. You're really going to enjoy this one, I think. It just has a really nice feel to it. It's a 4-chord song, so here are the chords you're going to need. D major, open E minor, open G chord, and an open A chord. And we're going to play around with the D a little bit, and I'll show you that in a minute. But essentially, those are the 4 chords you need. Okay, just before we go into the strumming pattern, I'd just like to show you that little variation on the D chord. The strumming pattern, actually, let's do the strumming pattern first. The strumming pattern is a... So that's down, up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. Okay, down, up, down, down. But the variation we put into the D chord is that on the 3rd strum, so down, up, down, on that 3rd strum, the 2nd down strum, we lift our finger, our 2nd finger, off the E string at the 2nd fret and make it an open E string. So it becomes down, down, up, down. So then the full chord progression with that little altered D note and the strumming becomes... Alright, well, let's talk about the intro to the song, and I was going to have you do something like this. Which is essentially going from a D chord to a G5, A5, back to G5, and then an E5. But that gets messy and complicated, and a lot of sliding around. And I think for the purposes of a play-along song here, we can get by just fine by playing those 4 chords in the right rhythm and in the right sequence, like this. Okay, so again, that's just playing a D chord, a G chord, an A chord, a G chord again, an E minor chord in there, and then repeat the sequence. So D, G, A, G, E minor. Bum, 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 bum. That's the rhythm. Now here's the trick. You just want to play the D5, the G5, the A5. In other words, you just want to play the root note and then the 2nd note with it. So for the D chord, you just want to pick the 4th and 3rd strings. I'll show you at this end. So for the D chord, so for the G chord, you're just picking 6 and 5. For the A chord, 5 and 4. So it's either 4 and 3, 5 and 4, or 6 and 5, depending on the chord. For the D chord, it's the 4-3.
For the A chord, it's the 5-4. For the G chord and the E minor chord, or the E5 chord, it's the 6-5 that you pluck. Okay, so just do that intro one more time, slow it down a bit. All right, we're ready to do a little playthrough of that intro along with the first verse.
So the feeling grows. It's written on the wind, it's everywhere I go. So if you really love me, come on, let it show.
Okay, I'm calling the next section a chorus, although it doesn't really feel like a chorus to me, but there's a little connector from that verse into the chorus, and here's what we're going to do. Okay, pretty simple here. With our third finger, pressing down on the 4th and 3rd strings at the 4th fret, and then with our first finger, 4th and 3rd strings at the 2nd fret. And now the next note two notes we pluck are the 5th and 4th strings at the 4th fret. So we're just, again, we're taking that third finger and transferring it from the 4th and 3rd strings down to the 5th and 4th strings. So open 5th and 4th, and then 2nd fret, 5th and 4th. So it goes like this. And that's to connect us to, you know I love you, I always will, that part of the song. So here, by the way, here is that part of the song, and we'll put the connector in.
You know I love you, I always will. My mind's made up by the way that I feel. There's no beginning, there'll be no end. 'Cause on my love, you can depend.
Check that ending out.
'Cause on my love, you can depend. Bum 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 bum.
And that takes us into the second verse. A little bass line, really, but we'll play it. So that line is A, B, C sharp, D chord, back into the verse. So let's do that one more time.
You know I love you, I always will. My mind's made up by the way that I feel. There's no beginning, there'll be no end. 'Cause on my love, you can depend.
All right, well, at this point, if you haven't done so already, you should go back and work on the phrasing and the timing and the chords for the verse, and also for that chorus section we just did. Make sure you're comfortable with them, and if you are, then we can proceed right here. What we're going to do is a full playthrough of the song. We have time for that. So we'll start with the intro, go in the first verse, chorus, second verse, chorus, wrap it up. Play along.
love is all around me, and so the feeling grows. It's written on the wind, it's everywhere I go. So if you really love me, come on, let it show. You know I love you, I always will. My mind's made up by the way that I feel. There's no beginning and there'll be no end, 'cause on my love it can depend. I see your face before me as I lay on my bed. Get to thinking of all the things you said. You gave your promise to me, and I gave mine to you. I need someone beside me in everything I do. Made up by the way that I feel. There's no beginning, there'll be no end, 'cause on my love we can depend. It's written in the wind, it's everywhere I go. So if you really love me, come on, let it show. Come on, let it show. Come on, let it show.
All right, just a bit of fine-tuning here. Now, that song was recorded by the Troggs in the key of D, which is nice. That's where it should be. That's how the guitar sounds really wonderful in that key. It's a little low for me to sing to get any push or drive with it, and so you might experiment with the capo. And again, I'm going to remind you guys, I'm going to just try the 3rd fret. That would take it from a D to the key of F. Okay. Now that's a little bit out of tune, so I'm going to remind you guys again, always tune after you put the capo on, and that'll put it right for you to start the song. So this would be here.
I feel it in my fingers, I feel it in my toes. My love is all around me, and so the feeling grows.
Again, a little bit out of tune, but you make sure you do that when after you move the capo, retune. You might want to try it in F or experiment with it. There's the classic from the Troggs, 1967, Love is All Around. We'll see you next time on Song Mentor.